On December 11, 2010, at approximately 7 a.m., a quiet morning was shattered when Zhang Yukun, a 65-year-old man residing in apartment complex 14A in Chengquan District, Longzhou, Gansu Province, began his daily routine. He stepped out into the chilly air to sweep the alleyway in front of his home, a task he performed regularly. The neighborhood was a dilapidated urban sprawl, with narrow, uneven alleys barely wide enough for a bicycle or a small motorbike to navigate. Residents often discarded their trash carelessly, contributing to the decay of the area. Particularly, the end of the alley had transformed into a dumping ground for waste and old debris. As November's cold grip had settled in, temperatures plummeted below freezing, leaving the alley eerily deserted while Zhang swept toward the end, gathering the refuse. But today, something caught his eye beneath the pile of debris. A piece of fabric protruded oddly. As he leaned closer, a chill raced down his spine. He saw pale skin peeking out from beneath the trash. In a horrifying moment, he realized there was a human arm sticking out of the debris. Frozen in shock and fear, Zhang dashed back into his house, his heart pounding, to inform others and call the police. Within moments, officers from the Chengquan District Police arrived at the scene, their presence commanding immediate attention. The crime scene was quickly cordoned off, revealing a narrow alley stretching about 164 feet long, devoid of foot traffic in the early morning hours. The trash pile was a grim mix of old construction materials, plastic containers, and household waste. As officers began removing the debris, the body of a woman was uncovered. One arm protruded from the pile, stiffened by the biting cold. Forensic experts conducted a preliminary examination and quickly determined that the victim was a young woman, clad in a jacket, jeans, and shoes at the time of her grim discovery. Her face, however, remained obscured by the debris. Only her legs and one arm were clearly visible, hinting at a hurried attempt by the perpetrator to conceal the body. The wooden planks and other materials covering her indicated a lack of effort in hiding the evidence. As investigators surveyed the surroundings, they noted small but significant details. Traces of blood were discovered on a nearby piece of wood, accompanied by faint footprints imprinted on the damp ground. Yet there were no signs of a struggle or altercation at the scene. This pivotal observation led authorities to conclude that this was not the scene of the murder, but rather a disposal site. Police theorized that the body had been moved here during the cover of night, when the area, secluded and dark, saw fewer passers-by. With a lack of streetlights and minimal traffic in the evening, the alley became an ideal location to hide a body without immediate detection. Although the community still had residents, it was sparsely populated and devoid of modern surveillance systems like CCTV cameras, complicating the search for leads in this chilling case. With no camera footage to analyze, investigators found themselves relying on traditional methods. They began by interviewing witnesses and examining the physical evidence left at the scene. Yet, gathering testimonies from local residents proved to be a formidable challenge. The area was populated by migrant workers, elderly individuals, and families who preferred to keep to themselves, often lacking social connections. Most residents reported seeing nothing unusual or were unable to provide any valuable information. None recognized the victim or recalled any suspicious activity in the days leading up to the tragic discovery. Confronted with these obstacles, the police opted to conduct an autopsy to uncover the cause of death. As the investigation deepened, the victim was identified as a young woman, approximately 25 to 30 years old, standing about 5 feet 3 inches tall and weighing between 110 to 121 pounds. When her body was discovered, it lay on its right side. The victim's skin appeared unnaturally pale, particularly in the exposed areas beneath her black jacket. Forensic examiners noted the onset of bluish discoloration, a grim indication of death in cold environments. Although the victim had been deceased for some time, the frigid temperatures in the area had decelerated the decomposition process. This allowed investigators to analyze the physical evidence on her body before it could deteriorate further. Upon turning the body over, the forensic team observed that the victim was positioned in a relatively natural way, showing no signs of intense resistance or struggle before her death. This observation raised unsettling questions. Had the victim died prior to being transported to the scene, or was she unconscious at the time of her death? An examination of her clothing, a thick black jacket, a sweater underneath, and dark jeans, indicated she was dressed suitably for the cold November weather in Longzhou. Forensic experts quickly turned their focus to the victim's neck, where faint red marks crossed horizontally, hinting at a possible strangulation. Though these marks were not glaringly pronounced, they were significant enough to suggest strangulation as a preliminary cause of death. Additionally, minor scratches below her jaw hinted at weak resistance or attempts to struggle during the act of strangulation. However, the absence of severe injuries or substantial signs of a physical altercation indicated that the victim had likely been taken by surprise or incapacitated swiftly. The forensic specialists then meticulously examined the victim's face. Although not heavily obscured by debris, her face showed slight swelling, suggesting she had been in the pile of trash for approximately 2 days, likely since November 10th. Her lips exhibited a bluish-purple hue, a telling sign of asphyxiation. Investigators found no indications of sexual assault or external bleeding from injuries on the victim. However, a small bloodstain was discovered on a nearby piece of wood, raising further questions about the circumstances surrounding her death. This intriguing discovery raised the unsettling possibility that the blood found at the crime scene did not belong to the victim but potentially to another individual, likely the perpetrator. Another critical detail emerged as investigators examined the victim's white sneakers, which were caked in soil and dried mud. This evidence was inconsistent with the type of soil present in the alley where her lifeless body was found, prompting the investigative team to delve deeper. In a thorough examination of the victim's clothing and the surrounding area, investigators regrettably found no objects or documents that could aid in identifying her. Local residents, confronted with the grim reality, did not recognize her. At this juncture, crucial details such as gender, age, and estimated time of death became vital for the police. They meticulously cross-referenced this information with missing person reports from the Alonzo area, hoping for a breakthrough. However, an extensive review yielded no matches. The absence of a corresponding missing person report suggested that the victim might not have been a local resident, raising the chilling possibility that she had come from elsewhere. Alternatively, investigators considered that she might have lived a solitary life, with no family or friends concerned enough to report her absence. Another unsettling theory surfaced. The victim could have been a transient, someone merely passing through before meeting a tragic end. Following a preliminary examination of the body, police and forensic experts quickly noted several distinctive features. The first striking detail was her dyed hair, hinting at a stylish and bold personality that may have been a reflection of her life choices. Her long, neatly manicured nails, adorned with intricate nail art, suggested a penchant for aesthetics. During the examination, they also uncovered a rose tattoo on her right hip. Further analysis revealed additional significant aspects, including the presence of an intrauterine device, or IUD. Moreover, the forensic team discovered evidence of a surgical procedure in her genital area. Though the stitches had been removed, the surrounding tissue had not fully healed, indicating that this cosmetic surgery had likely been performed shortly before her untimely death. To accelerate the identification process, the police reached out to media outlets. Key physical characteristics, her short, vibrantly dyed hair and the distinctive rose tattoo on her right hip, were disseminated through newspapers and television stations. Forensic sketches of the victim were also utilized to assist in recognition. Meanwhile, the investigative team continued their analysis, piecing together the victim's profile through her striking physical attributes, fashion choices, and the cosmetic surgery that marked her life. The police speculated that the victim likely belonged to a younger demographic, possibly someone who placed a high value on appearance and personal style. She may have led a vibrant, carefree life, possibly working in an industry that celebrated physical attractiveness or the arts. Investigators began to consider the unsettling possibility that the victim, Wang Xiaohong, may have been involved in sex work. This lead prompted the police to broaden their search, extending their investigation to various entertainment venues scattered across the city. On the second day of this extensive operation, a crucial lead surfaced at a karaoke bar named Xiangku, situated approximately 9 miles from the location where Wang Xiaohong's lifeless body had been discovered. When investigators showed a photograph of the victim to the bar's staff, many of them instantly recognized her. They confirmed the victim's identity as Wang Xiaohong. At just 23 years old, Wang Xiaohong had been a former employee of the bar, having started her tenure there in early January but quitting at the end of July. Since her departure, she had lost touch with her former colleagues. Wang Xiaohong was described as an average-looking young woman, yet her charming and attractive features set her apart. Her natural allure garnered her favoritism from the male manager and captured the attention of numerous patrons. However, Wang Xiaohong's feisty and somewhat arrogant demeanor alienated her from her female coworkers. As a result, her colleagues remained largely oblivious to her personal life and relationships. From a female colleague who had been close to Wang Xiaohong, the police learned that the house she had previously rented was located less than half a mile from the Xiangku karaoke bar. Eager to uncover vital leads, the police quickly made their way to this address. Upon arrival, they engaged with the landlord. Wang Xiaohong's previous residence was located less than half a mile from the Xiangku karaoke bar. In a bid to uncover vital leads, the police promptly visited this address. Upon their arrival, they spoke with the landlord. The landlord disclosed that Wang Xiaohong had vacated the premises at the end of July. Unfortunately, he did not know her whereabouts following her departure. Neighbors described Wang Xiaohong as a private individual, rarely interacting with others, which was evident from her modest clothing and erratic schedule. Many neighbors speculated about her profession, leading them to hesitate in engaging with her. They also mentioned that during her time at the rental property, a middle-aged man, appearing to be between 40 and 50 years old, frequently visited Wang Xiaohong. Although they were unaware of his full name, they occasionally heard Wang Xiaohong refer to him as Jian. From their interactions, the neighbors suspected a romantic involvement between the two. Judging by the man's attire and demeanor, he seemed to be affluent. Utilizing the rental records maintained by the landlord, the police quickly traced Wang Xiaohong's hometown back to Shanxi province. Motivated by the need for more information, the police decided to investigate her hometown, hoping to uncover leads related to her family or friends. There, they discovered that Wang Xiaohong had dropped out of school in her second year of high school due to her family's financial difficulties. Her parents had divorced when she was young, and she did not live with them. Instead, she resided with her paternal grandparents. After leaving school, Wang Xiaohong spent some time working in agriculture in her rural hometown. At the tender age of 21, Xiaohong made a pivotal decision to leave her simple life behind. She sought the bustling opportunities of Lianshui, driven by a strong and confident personality that had emerged from an early age. Self-assured and expressive, she craved independence and the chance to carve her own path. Yet, this assertiveness often created friction with those around her, resulting in a profound sense of social isolation. Her elderly grandparents, unfamiliar with the pace of modern life, relied heavily on neighbors to reach her. But Xiaohong, increasingly distant, seldom answered their calls. She shied away from conversations and had made it clear to her grandparents that only emergencies warranted their contact. This self-imposed distance caused an emotional rift, straining her once close family ties. With little communication, her grandparents, uncles, and former classmates were left in the dark, unaware of her whereabouts in Longzhou or the events that would soon spiral into tragedy. The police recognized that identifying Xiaohong was crucial to unraveling the mystery. Investigators focused on tracing Xiaohong's residence prior to her disappearance. This would serve as a vital link to understanding her relationships and activities leading up to the horrific murder. Their attention soon shifted to a man known locally as Jian, frequently mentioned by neighbors. Described as a regular visitor to Xiaohong's previous rental, the police decided to delve deeper into her phone records. Their analysis revealed a concerning pattern. In recent months, Xiaohong had been in frequent contact with two specific numbers. The first number ended in 778, while the second concluded with 546. Upon reviewing ownership records, the police identified the number ending in 778 as belonging to Wang Chenjian. Wang Chenjian, a 48-year-old resident of Longzhou, emerged as a key figure in the investigation. In contrast, the number ending in 546 remained unregistered, its owner a mystery. Preliminary inquiries led investigators to suspect that this number also belonged to Chen Jian. They retrieved his portrait from the resident database, preparing to confront the neighbors near Xiaohong's former home. The neighbors confirmed without hesitation that Chen Jian was indeed the middle-aged man who often visited Xiaohong, affectionately calling him Jian. With this information in hand, the police swiftly contacted Wang Chenjian to gather further insights. When approached, he greeted the officers with an unsettling calmness, yet the tension in his eyes spoke volumes. When questioned about Xiaohong, he denied any knowledge of her, insisting, "I've never heard of this woman." His behavior was erratic, suggesting a desperate attempt to deflect the scrutiny. Undeterred, the police confronted him with evidence of their phone records, illustrating the undeniable connection between him and Xiaohong. Faced with the stark reality of the evidence, Wang Chenjian's composure crumbled. He grew noticeably nervous, fumbling for explanations. He claimed these were merely casual exchanges between friends. Sensing an opportunity, investigators decided to intensify their interrogation, determined to uncover the truth hidden beneath his facade. Investigators gathered testimonies from neighbors near Xiaohong's former residence. They reported that several individuals had witnessed her in the company of Wang Chenjian at her rental home. In a moment of palpable tension, Chenjian's demeanor shifted dramatically. He stiffened, the weight of his lies bearing down on him, and ultimately confessed that he had misled authorities during previous questioning. He admitted to knowing Xiaohong and acknowledged their romantic involvement. Wang Chenjian, a wealthy businessman, often sought solace in the arms of others, seeking entertainment to escape his troubled marriage. He described his wife, Zhou Huanqi, in unflattering terms, portraying her as an older, domineering figure who made his life increasingly difficult. Moreover, Huanqi's family held considerable power and influence. Their support had paved the way for Wang Chenjian's flourishing career, creating an invisible chain that bound him to them, complicating his desire for personal freedom against the obligations of family. In secret, Chenjian pursued his relationship with Xiaohong. Over time, he invested not only his emotions but also material resources into their affair. Yet the shadow of his wife's possible discovery loomed large, instilling a constant fear that gripped him deeply. He understood that such a revelation could cost him everything. Although Chenjian's confession seemed sincere, the police remained cautious, keeping him firmly in their sights as a suspect. They initiated a thorough investigation into his activities on November 10th. This date would soon prove pivotal, marking the day Xiaohong was likely murdered. The investigation quickly uncovered that Chenjian had attended a dinner that evening where he consumed alcohol. However, his intoxication was mild, enabling him to drive away from the restaurant without difficulty. A startling revelation emerged from his wife, Zhou Huanqi. She stated that her husband had not returned home that night. Instead, he had called her, claiming to be at the residence of a friend, Zhu Hu. When the police reached out to verify Chenjian's alibi, Zhu Hu confirmed that Chenjian had not been at his house that evening. This web of deceit began to paint a troubling picture, suggesting that Chenjian may indeed be involved in the crime. Under the mounting pressure of police scrutiny, Chenjian's facade began to crumble. He finally confessed that he had not gone to Zhu Hu's house as he had claimed. Instead, he admitted that he had stayed at the Hongqiao Hotel on the night of November 10th. The police wasted no time in verifying this new lead. Surveillance footage from the hotel revealed that around 9 p.m. on November 10th, Chenjian entered the premises, but he was not alone. He was accompanied by a young woman, an unexpected detail that raised further questions. Upon reviewing the footage, authorities quickly identified that the woman was not Xiaohong. When interrogated, Chenjian claimed that her name was Mei, a sex worker who had approached him on the street that fateful night. Despite Chenjian's alibi for the night of November 10th clearing him as a suspect in Wang Xiaohong's murder, his questionable actions came at a significant personal cost. During the investigation, police uncovered a vital lead. On October 27th, while the couple was at a hotel together. In a moment of betrayal, Chenjian secretly accessed Wang Xiaohong's phone while she showered. As he rifled through her messages, he discovered a number ending in 546 had called her multiple times that day. Curiosity piqued, Chenjian saved the unfamiliar number in his phone. When Wang Xiaohong was away, he made the decision to call the number. A man answered, introducing himself politely as Zhang Datong, an obstetrician-gynecologist from a maternity hospital in Lanzhou. Taken aback by this revelation, Chenjian opted not to inquire further, simply stating he had dialed the wrong number. When he called, a man answered, introducing himself as Zhang Datong, an obstetrician-gynecologist from a maternity hospital in Lanzhou. Taken aback by this unexpected revelation, Wang Chenjian chose not to press further, merely stating that he had dialed the wrong number. Later, he cautiously broached the subject with Wang Xiaohong, who confirmed that she was indeed grappling with some personal issues and needed to consult a doctor. Though Wang Xiaohong's explanation temporarily eased Wang Chenjian's suspicions, the police remained skeptical, viewing the situation through a different lens. Telecommunication records revealed a troubling pattern. an unusually high frequency of communication between Wang Xiaohong and a number ending in 546. Their contact had been consistent since early September, a fact that raised eyebrows in the investigation. They maintained this correspondence right up until the day Wang Xiaohong was believed to have been murdered. In a crucial revelation, Wang Chenjian admitted that his relationship with her had recently faced significant strain. During this tumultuous time, he made attempts to reconcile, yet Wang Xiaohong remained emotionally distant. On some occasions, she answered his calls with a cold, indifferent tone. At other times, she would simply ignore his calls or switch off her phone altogether. After this tense period, the couple decided to attempt reconciliation on October 25th. However, during a meeting on November 9th, Wang Chenjian sensed that Wang Xiaohong was still withdrawn and even refused to let him touch her. This unusual behavior only served to heighten the tension in their already fragile relationship. Confusion enveloped Wang Chenjian as he grappled with the shocking murder of Wang Xiaohong. It left him bewildered, searching for answers. With a growing collection of leads, the police turned their attention to a doctor named Zhang Datong, directing their investigation to Lan's home maternity hospital. The investigation quickly established that Zhang Datong, at 44, was a seasoned doctor with extensive experience. Hospital staff revealed that his marriage was troubled. Notably, his wife had been a frequent visitor, appearing at the hospital every few days. During her visits, she probed staff about her husband's schedule and behavior. This led many to speculate that Zhang Datong might be having an affair, while his wife, laden with suspicion, appeared to be quietly gathering evidence to confirm her fears. The police, sensing the complexity of the situation, broadened their investigation. A pivotal discovery surfaced during the investigation. Dr. Zhang Datong was known to frequently use a phone number ending in 335. Strikingly, no one at the hospital could recall him ever mentioning a number that ended in 546. Tian Xiaoan, the assistant to Dr. Zhang Datong, provided crucial insights that would shape the investigation. In a candid moment, Xiao Zhou revealed that he had, albeit unintentionally, overheard Datong engaged in intimate conversation on the phone with an unknown woman. The nature of the call led him to conclude that this woman was not Datong's wife. The plot thickened further when it was disclosed that on October 30th, Dr. Zhang Datong had performed a surgical procedure on a patient named Wang Xiaohong. Xiao Zhou vividly recalled that both during the preparation and after the operation, Datong exhibited an unusual level of concern for Xiaohong, a stark contrast to his interactions with other patients. The police, through meticulous examination of hospital records, confirmed that Wang Xiaohong had indeed undergone a genital tightening procedure on that fateful day. Datong's extraordinary concern for her well-being, coupled with the intimate phone calls and a mysterious phone number, raised alarming questions regarding the nature of their relationship. In a bid to clarify the situation, the police arranged for a direct interview with Dr. Zhang Datong. Under questioning, Datong steadfastly maintained that he only knew Xiaohong in a professional capacity, insisting that their relationship was purely that of doctor and patient. He explained that he had provided her with medical consultations concerning her health. However, the police remained unconvinced. The evidence gathered thus far, along with Datong's visibly anxious demeanor during the interrogation, amplified their suspicions. They could not overlook the critical fact that Datong had had contact with Xiaohong on November 10th, the very day she was believed to have met her tragic end. To delve deeper into the unfolding mystery, the police sought to interview Zhang Datong's wife, Ms. Liu. During their discussion, Ms. Liu confirmed a troubling detail. Her husband had not returned home on the night of November 10th. According to hospital records, Datong was not on call that evening, raising further doubts. Surveillance footage from the hospital entrance painted a clearer picture. At approximately 7:30 p.m., Datong was seen driving away from the hospital, but not heading toward his home. As the investigation progressed, the police tracked his vehicle and discovered that around 9:15 p.m. that night, it was captured on camera near the rental home where Wang Xiaohong had been living. Footage showed Xiaohong entering Datong's car at roughly 9:30 p.m., after which the vehicle drove off into the night. Despite the police's relentless efforts to trace the car's movements, they ultimately lost track of it, intensifying their suspicions. Dr. Zhang Datong appeared to be the last individual known to have seen Wang Xiaohong alive. At this juncture, all evidence converged ominously upon Dr. Zhang Datong, yet he vehemently denied any wrongdoing. Faced with mounting evidence, the police decided to conduct a DNA comparison using a dried bloodstain found on a wooden plank at the location where Xiao Hong's body had been discarded. The results of the forensic testing were conclusive and chilling. The DNA from the bloodstain matched that of Dr. Zhang Datong. When summoned to the police station for further questioning, Datong initially refused to acknowledge the charges against him, insisting on his innocence in the face of overwhelming evidence. Despite relentless efforts to trace a vehicle linked to the investigation, the police lost track of its movements later that night. This disarray intensified their suspicion, as Zhang Datong emerged as the last individual seen with Wang Xiaohong before her untimely demise. At this juncture, all evidence pointed toward Dr. Zhang Datong, yet he remained steadfast in denying any wrongdoing. The detectives resolved to compare the DNA from the dried bloodstain discovered on the wooden plank at the site where Wang Xiaohong's body had been abandoned. Forensic testing brought clarity to the case when results confirmed that the DNA from a bloodstain matched that of Dr. Zhang Datong. When summoned for questioning at the police station, Datong's initial response was a vehement denial of the charges against him. However, as the police presented irrefutable evidence from the DNA samples, Zhang Datong's composure began to crumble. Anxiousness washed over his face, and his earlier explanations grew increasingly incoherent. Confronted with undeniable evidence, Zhang Datong finally confessed to being the killer. He recounted that his first encounter with Wang Xiaohong took place in early September at a bar, where he noticed a beautiful woman sitting alone. Unable to resist her allure, he approached her to strike up a conversation. Dissatisfied with his marriage, Datong saw Wang Xiaohong as an opportunity to satisfy his emotional and physical desires. Following their initial meeting, the two quickly found themselves at a hotel. Their relationship turned intimate, with Datong making every effort to cater to Wang Xiaohong's needs and desires. On October 30th, Datong performed a genital tightening surgery on Wang Xiaohong, as they had discussed. This was not merely a routine procedure, but a testament to the special attention Datong lavished upon her. Yet, on November 9th, Wang Xiaohong unexpectedly suggested ending their relationship. Confusion and anger surged within Datong. He attempted to reach out to her, but his calls went unanswered. Finally, on November 10th, after being repeatedly ignored, Wang Xiaohong agreed to meet Zhang Datong for a decisive conversation that evening after leaving the hospital and attending to another patient. Zhang Datong picked up Wang Xiaohong in his car, demanding a valid explanation for their breakup. Initially, she claimed her family disapproved of their relationship, a reason Datong dismissed as absurd. She then argued that Datong was too busy and didn't spend enough time with her, but he rejected this explanation as well. Ultimately, Wang Xiaohong revealed the harsh truth. She had fallen in love with someone else, a wealthier man who was willing to do anything for her. These words struck Datong like a crushing blow to his pride. Despite his pleas for her to reconsider, Wang Xiaohong coldly replied that she had never loved him. She confessed that she had merely used him to obtain the genital tightening surgery for free. After uttering this, Wang Xiaohong opened the car door and stepped out, leaving Datong engulfed in a storm of anger and humiliation as she walked away. She emphasized that Datong had only served as a placeholder while she was estranged from her true lover. Wang Xiaohong revealed that they had reconciled some time ago, confessing that she would have broken up with Datong sooner but had delayed until after the surgery. This revelation was more than Zhang Datong could endure. Consumed by fury, Datong slowly followed Wang Xiaohong until his emotions reached a boiling point. Abruptly, he stopped the car, rushed out, and forcefully pulled her back inside. As Wang Xiaohong struggled to escape, Datong used his strength to strangle her. In that moment of rage and panic, he realized he had crossed a line, horrified by the violent act he had just committed. In a frantic panic, Zhang Datong realized the gravity of his actions, knowing he had committed murder. Desperately attempting to regain his composure, he searched for a secluded location to dispose of the body. The area was still far from the outskirts, leading him to a rundown residential neighborhood where he had previously tended to patients. As he attempted to bury Wang Xiaohong's lifeless body beneath a pile of trash, fate dealt him a cruel blow. Datong accidentally cut his hand on a jagged piece of broken glass, causing blood to trickle down. Unbeknownst to him, those droplets would leave a trail of evidence. This blood would soon become a crucial clue for investigators, particularly regarding a phone number that ended in 546. Da Tong later confessed that this was a private number he used exclusively to communicate with Wang Xiaohong. As the investigation progressed, it became evident that his professional habits had unwittingly contributed to his downfall. According to Wang Chenjian, Da Tong had a peculiar tendency to introduce himself by stating his name, occupation, and workplace whenever he answered the phone, a detail that would not be overlooked by the police. Further inquiries revealed that Wang Xiaohong and Zhang Da Tong had embarked on their affair during a turbulent period when she and Wang Chenjian were temporarily separated. Even after reconciling with Wang Chenjian, she continued to see both men, entangled in a web of deceit. Ultimately, the case reached a resolution. Zhang Da Tong was sentenced to life imprisonment by the Longzhou High Court for the premeditated murder of Wang Xiaohong and for concealing her body. This harrowing case ignited profound reflections on the complexities of human emotions, revealing the devastating consequences that can arise when relationships are built on deceit rather than honesty and understanding. It starkly illustrates the insecurity and suffering experienced by both the victim and the perpetrator, underscoring how split-second decisions can lead to irreversible outcomes. This concludes today's chilling story. Thank you for joining us. Until next time.